Venom Let There Be Carnage is officially playing in theaters, and the post-credit scene everybody's talking about, well, yeah, we have to talk about it.
When do I get to eat the Spider-Man?
BD here with your breakdown of the ending of Venom Let There Be Carnage, the long-awaited and dreadfully delayed Curse You 2020 sequel to 2018's Venom movie. I'm going to break down the ending of this movie with some super exclusive post-credit scene insight from director Andy Serkis and what it all means with full spoilers, as well as my spoiler-filled reaction, which will be at the end of this video. So let's start at the end of the movie. The post-credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage sees Eddie Brock and Venom on the run. They did murder Cletus Cassidy, which is a crime, whether Cletus was a serial killer or not.
If someone does something irksome, and I decide to remove his spine.
That's actually murder. It's one of the worst crimes of all, so also illegal.
Venom is getting ready to give Eddie his history lesson, but the multiverse seems to be blown open in a way that is not consistent in the design from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was animated, but it's not also anything we've seen before in a Marvel movie. This could coincide with the events of the Loki finale in Kang, but it seems more likely that this is when Doctor Strange's identity spell goes wrong in Spider-Man No Way Home, and it reaches Venom's universe. With people like Alfred Molina's Doc Ock coming from the original Spider-Man universe to the MCU, something is pulling in variants of dead characters and living characters like Venom for a crossover with MCU Spidey.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly lots of discussion about exactly, you know, what material can be shown. There was a lot of fine detail discussion involved in that, for sure.
We do see Tom Holland's Peter Parker on the screen, and naturally we all think Tom Hardy is bringing Venom to Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Just a few months away. Doesn't hurt that a photo of Tom Hardy in a Spider-Man No Way Home hat has been going around online, but I don't even know if that's real. Who knows anymore? But we might not want to get our hopes up for Eddie Brock being the sixth member of this multiversal Sinister Six that might be forming in No Way Home this December just yet. JK, my hopes are higher than Denver on the 20th of April. Because Andy Serkis tells Phase Zero that Eddie and Venom aren't quite there yet.
We wanted to leave the audience knowing that they are, you know, that these universes are going to somehow collide. And we wanted to do it in such a way that it still leaves so much open, and we're not timing anything. We're not, you know, the way of tying them together meant that there's still potential for, you know, they're literally, the portal is not being crossed fully, but it's opening up more questions, I suppose.
To catch that full interview with Andy Serkis, I do hope you will download the Phase Zero podcast, episode 39. It'll be available on any major podcast platform this Wednesday, and we go through the whole movie with Andy Serkis, and he's a legend. Now, important to note, Carnage might still be alive. In the comics, Carnage was once ripped in half by Sentry and left for dead in space, but the symbiote survived, and Andy Serkis seems to be teasing something like that too.
The fact of the matter is, I always like to think there might just be that little bit of symbiote that didn't quite get devoured by Venom, and that could be hanging around.
Speaking of Left 4 Dead, Patrick Mulligan is last seen whispering monsters with a blue light in his eyes. In the comics, Mulligan becomes a symbiote known as Toxin, which is a symbiote born from Carnage, not unlike how Carnage was born from Venom in this movie. Toxin has a lot of cool stories, like in one of them he takes over Eddie Brock, and then he also has a hero run as Patrick Mulligan, but that gets Patrick Mulligan killed, so he has to find some new hosts. Reaction time. Overall, I wasn't a huge fan of Venom Let There Be Carnage. I think Carnage looked fantastic, but Woody Harrelson's Cletus didn't really feel like a super memorable or unique villain, and I'm kind of disappointed that he's probably dead already. I'd say the same for Shriek, who never really felt integral to the story in the first place. The movie felt pretty choppy and rushed, so it was Tom Hardy and Eddie Brock and Venom that had to carry it and provide the most entertaining moments, and they did. I think Hardy's Venom is a really fun thing to have in the movies today. I just wish they'd put his buddy cop dynamic in a better overall story with better spotlights for the supporting characters as well, and less cheesy dialogue on all fronts. I honestly want to see Venom banter with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool really badly, but I will happily start with Tom Holland's Peter Parker in what will hopefully be a story that spends more time with supporting characters and building up kind of a rivalry and a big fight. The movie is what it is. The post-credit scene was the best part. What did you think of Venom Let There Be Carnage? Drop a delicious in the comments to let us know you watched this video through to the end, and hit me up on Instagram at BrandonDavisPD to talk more. Don't forget to download episode 39 of our Phase Zero MCU podcast for our full interview with director Andy Serkis, available on Wednesday, and head over to Comicbook.com/Marvel for more updates. I'm BD. I'll see you there.